Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today I have the good fortune to be with Jeremy Cordon from Goldback.com. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So let's go back in time a little bit. How did Goldback get started?
So Goldback got started because people wanted to have a way to use gold as money. And, we did a gold cryptocurrency and people didn't really like that very much. They wanted to have at least some of their portfolio in their hands, tangible, being able to touch it. So we came out with a product called the Goldback, which is a 1/1000th of an ounce gold product that's designed to be used for spending.
That is awesome. And for those of you watching on video, you can see Jeremy hold it up. So 1/1000th of an ounce gold product. Forgive me for not knowing the spot price of gold today as we're recording this, but ballpark, what is a Goldback worth? I know it fluctuates, obviously.
So Goldbacks cost about double the melt value. And mostly that's because we're splitting it down into 1,000 pieces or, since the beginning of the year into 2,000 pieces. This is a half Goldback right here. It used to be that you're looking at about a 400 to 600% premium over the melt price. We got that down to about 100%.
Okay. So ballpark,
yeah, if Goldbacks or if gold is $3,500 an ounce, 1,000th of that would be $350. You double that, it's like $7 a Goldback.
Okay, so that piece of paper that's got gold in it, or made out of gold, is worth about ballpark, let's say $7. Obviously, that's one of the problems that you're solving with physical gold and silver. Like, I can't go take a $3,500 bar, I can't go take that coin and go spend it at the grocery store, right? I'd have to have them break it up and they can't make change for gold and they wouldn't take it. So I love that it's a much smaller palatable amount. How can I spend that? How does that work?
There's businesses that take Goldbacks as payment. We have an app if you download the Goldback app, so where we advertise businesses that want to take these all the time. But I find that if you go to garage sales and flea markets and farmers markets or any just small business in a trade, we find that about half of small business owners will take gold and trade.
That is absolutely incredible. So how long has Goldback been out?
So it's been out since about 2019. And it's grown quite a bit since then. I think we got about $250 million worth of Goldbacks out there now.
That is absolutely incredible. How did you grow so fast?
We would have grown faster. We spent 3 of our first years being mostly sold out. I think during COVID, a lot of people were concerned about money and having something in hand. I noticed a cultural shift where people weren't making fun of kind of the preparedness oriented folks as much, and everyone was buying the toilet paper and snapping up food good. People wanted commodities. And we had a very hard time just keeping Goldbacks in stock. They sold for well over their value. We've built up some capacity now, and Goldbacks, by the sheer mintage numbers, are the most successful gold product in the United States today.
Even better than the Trump coin.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Trump coin.
Sorry, couldn't resist. Well, that is awesome. Congratulations. How have you gotten the word out to get so many people to buy it?
For starters, we have a promotion running. We just started this one not too long ago. And that's at freegoldback.com. So if you want to get a half gold back and you don't want to try to figure out how to buy it right this second, you can go to freegoldback.com and you can get a gold back for free. It's, a $3 product. You got to guess if you're shipping information. We'll have a distributor ship it out to you. And same idea as like a Costco sample, right? We give them out. Enough people are going to buy the product where, that's worth it to us. But a lot of our growth has just been word of mouth. It's people showing other people. There's a little bit of influencer marketing, but for the most part, it's just a semi-viral product.
I would imagine word of mouth would be, as you said, huge for this because it's a conversation piece, right? Every time you take one out of your wallet, it's going to start a conversation.
Oh yeah, it's like, hey, you imagine if money was inflation proof, and it's like an analog crypto. It's a very different thing. Um, and if you're giving somebody investment advice, and they want to put all their money into gold, that might not be a wise choice because there's not if they're buying gold just because they want to have something just in case, gold doesn't really scratch that itch because you can't spend gold bars. You're not going to use gold bars. You can't authenticate. I wouldn't accept a gold bar from a stranger. You know how many fake gold bars there are? It's kind of ludicrous, but a lot of those same people, if they've got, a few $1,000s worth of gold backs in their home that they're comfortable trading with, it kind of scratches that itch.
That's awesome. I noticed on the gold back there it says Florida. Are there different versions in different states?
Yes, so we run off state law. There's 6 different states with their own gold back series. It doesn't mean you can't use them if you're not in that state. We've got 2 more states coming out this year, Oklahoma and Arizona as well.
What are the states that you're already in?
And we are in New Hampshire, Nevada, Utah, South Dakota, Wyoming.
Awesome. And how does that work? How do you go to a state and say, we want to get approval to make currency in essence?
What we do is we use existing laws that are already on the books of the state, so we don't have to beg for permission for a new project. Every gold back is a negotiable instrument, and these are tied to US minted gold coins that are produced by the federal government. And that ties into the Uniform Commercial Code of every state. So, same laws that allow Walmart gift cards to be issued in all states allow gold backs to be issued in all states.
That is awesome. So it's not a replacement for the dollar bill. You're not having to deal with, the Federal Reserve or the Secret Service saying you're counterfeiting. They're not on paper, right? It's physically made out of, it's just really thin gold.
Yeah, so this is a gold back is 1/1000th of an ounce. You can redeem it for US minted gold coins by weight. So it is a negotiable instrument in that sense. And it's a series of local currencies. We can do state level gold backs, and we have these big merchant networks that trade in these given states, and there's some exchanges outside of that, but yeah, to your point, this isn't trying to necessarily compete with the dollar.
Do you run into any issues with people who have concerns about that? Are you seeing people use this for I would imagine you got people who buy some, stick it in their wallet and talk about it. And then you have people who use it as an investment and might buy thousands of dollars worth. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've got people that put hundreds of thousands of dollars into gold backs. They retain their value better than any other fractional gold product. It always, the value stays around double spot. And Goldback itself is just a wholesaler. So we sell Goldbacks to people that then resell them. We don't sell direct to the public. And we've got maybe 500 dealers that sell Goldbacks.
So I could go to, say, hypothetically, my local gold and coin dealer and say, hey, do you have gold backs? And if perhaps they do.
Yeah, they definitely do. And we have some partners like Alpine Gold. They actually work with investment advisors and they pay commissions on goldback sales.
Well, it
So
segues perfectly into the next part of this conversation. So, how do you work with registered investment advisors like those listening to the show?
right, yeah. So, directly not so much. I mostly work with coin dealers, but we've got one partner That's Alpine Gold. They've got, branches in, I want to say, 8 different states. And they work with registered investment advisors because if somebody wants to own some gold as part of their portfolio, they actually offer gold-backed accounts that have no vaulting fees, which is kind of unprecedented for gold. So there's zero vaulting fees, and they offer a 0% spread on the accounts for up to $10,000 in a 30-day period. I want to say they give like a 2 or 3% kickback for referrals.
Awesome. So I could, unlike, so normally if I wanted to buy physical gold, say in I either buy it, I just give them cash and they give me the bars, they give me the silver coins, whatever. If I want to buy it, let's say, and put it in an IRA, I've got to get a self-directed IRA. Then
Mhm.
I've got to pay somebody to custody it, hold it, vault it, as you said, and pay those extra fees. You're saying they will hold my gold backs for me if I'm buying a significant amount, and I don't have to pay the storage, the insurance, any of that stuff.
So these are non-allocated accounts. It's not even a significant amount of gold backs. You can have a single gold back in your account, and they help you with self-directed IRAs.
Wow, that is absolutely awesome. And there is a commission to the financial advisor if they're working with Alpine Gold, I think you said.
Yep. And it's a substantial one. I mean, normally if you're selling gold bullion, the entire premium might be 1 or 2%. And that's what the gold company has to survive off of. So if they're going to give you a kickback, it's going to be zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2. I mean, there's just no margin in it, really. The gold back, there's enough margin in there that there's space for a healthier kickback. It's not anywhere near as profitable as you think. It really does cost a lot of money to split an ounce of gold into 1,000 pieces or 2,000 pieces and have this interchangeable system. There's higher gold back denominations as well. Um, Goes all the way up to a tenth of an ounce, but Alpine Gold does a really good job, and they're not my business. I don't really have, they're a client of mine. So this isn't, my, I guess I'm just, pitching my client, but no, I've seen them do a good job with registered investment advisors for giving them kickbacks on referrals for clients that
I'm
want
going to
to
make one
invest.
vocabulary change. It's a commission, not a kickback. Otherwise, we'll get in trouble. Uh,
Okay, it's a commission, sure.
all good. And then how'd you figure out how to manufacture this?
I didn't figure out how to manufacture this. I found a manufacturer that was making really kind of bad products. It's like they were making things like this. And it's just, novelty items, nothing anywhere near as impressive as a Goldback. And we turned around and made it just a phenomenal tool for trading.
That is awesome. Is there you mentioned trading and then app. Is there a secondary market? Can I sell my goldbacks to somebody else on the platform?
Absolutely. So if you want to sell your Goldbacks, I mean, you can sell to the dealer you bought them from. I mentioned that Alpine Gold has a zero spread for up to $10,000 worth at a month time. Um, that's pretty unprecedented in gold as well. Free vaulting is very unprecedented in gold. The reason why they can offer those types of things is they make enough margin up front where they can sell your gold to another client. The $10,000 limit is more of like a hook for, it's a loss leader, just to make it attractive. The free vaulting is really just, we've got 33 different gold back designs. We end up paying those vaulting costs just because it's convenient for us to have flexibility in terms of what's vaulted for those gold back accounts because again, they're non-allocated. Um, so that's how that program works. But if you want to get out, like I said, you can sell to your dealer. Alpine's a zero spread. If you take possession of your gold backs and you want to sell them, if you look on eBay, there's a very strong secondary market for gold back. ATMEX, they're the largest dealer in precious metals bullion. They offer a zero spread to their customers as well. It's the best spread they offer on their entire website out of any of their products. So gold backs are very liquid.
That is absolutely incredible. I mean, you've achieved so much success. What's your biggest challenge now?
It's just challenges that come with growing fast, running a company, having the right people in the right seats, and um, it's all to be, I guess, expected, Corey.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
You know, I think that inflation really hurts a lot of people. I know that there was a period of time where inflation was probably closer to 10 or 15% for like how you would have measured it 30 years ago. And a lot of investments offered a 2% yield. So, really it's how do you lose money slower in that kind of an environment? Um, the Goldback has gone from being a $2 product to a $7 product in 6 years. So, people that have used these, they've done very well. They've been able to trade. They've been able to avoid transaction fees that are associated with, credit cards. They've been able to maintain their privacy. So it's fulfilling for me to put out a good tool for people to use where they can have a reliable form of money that isn't constantly losing value.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations. We know your time's incredibly valuable. We appreciate you spending some of it with us. For our folks watching or listening at home, where's the best place? Do we send them to goldback.com or free Goldback? You tell, where's the best place for them to go?
If you just want to get a free Goldback just to check it out, get your toes wet, not spend a single dime, go to freegoldback.com. If you're interested in doing some kind of partnership where you're getting a commission, not a kickback, a commission, you can do that with Alpine Gold. I'd recommend going to alpinegold.com, reaching out to their customer service, figuring out who the best person over there is to work with. I know they work with, dozens already. If you want to learn more about Goldback, then goldback.com is a great place for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been Seth Greene here with Jeremy from Goldback. Jeremy, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.